Well, it's yeah. The combination of starter PA means easy kills. You can blink in, blow someone up before they can react. Obviously, easy Roshan as well. Techies can secure the pit with like mines and stasis traps or whatever, and then you have the corrosive haze with the PA damage. You have to be really careful if you're OG because even though there's like this kind of weird hero on the Techies on the enemy team, you can very easily snowball this game just based off of the starter and the PA alone. Because the Techies is going to take care of like a large majority of the wave clear. He'll be able to stop Nature's Prophet pushes basically by himself. Then now you have a Jakiro who's even more wave clear on top of that, and NoPango just picked up. So it's still like I know that Techies definitely has its uses, and obviously since we don't see it a ton in competitive matches, I'm sure there's a lot left that's been unexplored in terms of that hero's potential. But he is extremely dangerous, and right now I would say only one of the heroes on the side of OG is particularly good against it, and that's the Oracle.
I think Nature's Prophet's pretty good too. At least the landmine. You can't
well,
really
yeah,
use
you can blow up the proxy mines or whatever. Yeah,
yeah. And I think that's pretty helpful because there's so many annoying spots in trees and fog that you can't really deal with the landmines if you place them well. So I think the trees really help you there. But with that said, I think we're going to be seeing maybe a bit more play around the blast off.
That's a Terrorblade coming out. Of course, one of the better cores to go up against and match up against the Phantom Assassin after the Jakiro happens, though, from NoPango. So, yeah, NoPango really is going a bit off the wall here, a couple of these picks, and facing a team like OG is coming off that confident 2-0 victory, I suppose. Running something slightly different is not out of the question.
It's not much to threaten the TB right now. The blast off is probably one of the scarier things, but once you get like a Manta style to get rid of the silence, you can Manta off the silence or BKB it off and then get your Sunder out. PA just, against the super high armor of TB, doesn't really threaten to kill you. Perhaps the Corrosive Haze can kind of help alleviate that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, later in the game, TB is probably going to have like BKB and Manta and stuff, but it is a really good hero in the sense that the pace that NoPango are going to be playing, they have some heroes that are going to go around and fight and stuff, but when there's a Techies, you have to assume that the game's going to kind of stretch out a bit. And TB, in my opinion, is just like the best response in terms of this team that pretty much only does physical damage. Like God said, just super high armor, really solid late game hero.
Yeah. Imagine NoPango need to address it with their last pick, get something, some magic damage in there as well to play around to deal with the TB. I mean, the Zeus tinkers were the traditional counters, although those heroes are seeing a lot less play, but this might be one of those situations where you want to pull them out.
Yeah, well, Techies also not played a lot either, so they're not afraid again to do these different things. So Broodmother's going to be the ban though from OG. That would have been something. Taking away that option.
I mean, there's already one kind of what you would maybe loosely refer to as a cheese hero. Just scared of getting two of them, you know. And the Razor again. So I've noticed a trend with OG when they're in situations where they have a core that they feel is going to go pretty much uncontested once it has farm. And in my opinion, TB is the de facto carry of this game. Like the PA won't be able to outscale and deal with it that well, and neither will the Slardar. When they're in that situation where they know their core just has the advantage, they always pick tops in a hero that's just going to win its lane. That's all they care about. It's like, I don't care if the hero transitions. It doesn't really need to do anything else, just win mid. And obviously banning out the Brood, they knew they were going to pick the Razor because that's a matchup that he wouldn't want. Huskar is already out of the pool. Even then, I think the Razor-Huskar matchup isn't too bad for Razor. But now you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, what hero can we send against this guy?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that might be. I think Pugner or something could work. Pugner's good against TB.
Pugner's banned.
Yeah.
Oh, Pugner's banned. Okay,
I thought about that earlier too, but yeah, I looked over.
So not Pugner. I mean, he's a huge Lone Druid spammer. Lone Druid's not great because you can static link the bear, but at least you can still get some last hits into it. But it's still a unfavorable matchup.
The other one we saw earlier was like Tiny. I think Tiny would be okay, but then you're putting a lot of emphasis on this PA.
I'm gonna find out here. And
oh, Veno. Okay,
it's a Veno.
That's a good solution.
Magic damage. I think it's not like a straight up lane win for Veno. I think you still lose that matchup, right?
You do, but depending on the build that he goes, I've seen a lot of Venos in the mid lane at least going back towards like the ward build later, and then you just farm your ancients and stuff, and it's not maybe as good as it would be on Dire side, but it is an answer. There's not really a great choice, I feel, at this point for NoPango in terms of like how the lane goes against Razor. Yeah. But this is probably one of the better choices they can make.
All right. Well, curious to see Techies in action. This is something new for us.
as much as I think it's cool to see a Techies in the game, I'm gonna say OG probably win this game.
They looked very good against Vega, no doubt, and that was a question mark for me even going into that series. Was again with this team not playing it for a while. IOTW has a standing right now. Wasn't expecting them to just come out, flying out the door looking really good, but they frankly did. So knowing that, and looking at the drafts, I too tend to lean towards them as well. But
yeah, I absolutely agree. OG's in great. Putting aside the draft, NoPango is a very different team to Vega. I think Vega is very solidly in that tier 2, tier 3 scene, whereas NoPango has kind of risen up to be tier 1 lately. They beat Virtus Pro, they've qualified for the major, they've been winning at all the big matches against the tier 2 teams. So I think they're a much tougher competition for OG.
Well, we'll see what happens here as we got the odds on our screen, and OG is the favorite team again, but you're right. I mean, NoPango, they like the chances of them somewhat, keeping it close at least. If you like the odds yourself, you get over to es.bet and place said wages. You can also take advantage of the insurance in play here for the WePlay Winter Madness Tournament. Again, es.bet. So, Draskyl, before we let you go, is it OG for you in this case?
Yeah, I think so. I see the issue that I have with NoPango's lineup is they kind of have to play super well to win the game. They're very heavily based on their execution and controlling the tempo of the game. Because if that TB gets late, there really is no good answer unless you get some crazy burst initiation on them and stuff like that. And they even have an Oracle save on the side of OG. So I think in the later the game goes, it's actually going to get really rough. So I'll say OG take this.
They have the answers possibly. It's just a matter, can they play around it? Zach's Techies. As GoDz was mentioning, though, a 1-4 record in the last 5 appearances, so even though it's a fun pick for him, doesn't necessarily translate to success when it comes to their results, but they're trying to change that or at least help improve that record here. And what is game number 1? I think that plays a big role, too. You're in game number 1 of a best of 3, not saying, they're willing to just try completely random things, but you're a little more open to try some of these strategies and see if you can get away with some of these unique picks.
Oh yeah, this is it's a lot of prize money here, but it's also one of your rare opportunities to try a hero you believe in at a high competitive level against one of the best teams in the world. So I don't blame them at all going for something like a Techies first 2. You've got that game buffer. If you lose, suddenly you're down 1 game, which is not good, but it is a best of.
Triple Fairy Fire on Techies. I'm noticing that off the bat. His base damage is horrible, so I suppose it kind of helps there for that, but also just a spike regen maybe for his blast off use and getting low.
Yep, his base damage is terrible. This kind of helps a little bit. His attack rate is incredible. 700 attack range. He's going to be harassing all day long in lane.
Bounty rune?
It's pretty annoying as a carry when you just keep getting right-clicked by... He doesn't do much damage. Once he right-clicks you 10, 15, 20... That does that up.
Well, he's in trouble here. He's going to go for the blast off, and he will end up denying himself in the end, but... Techies, everyone.
He secures some bounty runes. They only get 2 apiece, though, so it doesn't really give him a big edge, but costs him a TP scroll.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't as bad as the flat-out suicide ability that he used to have, of course, for the longest time, but still, the idea of that happening is always just silly to me. But, again, it didn't really cost him much, as you pointed out. TP scroll, he's back in the lane, and again, he went blast off level 1, so no mine's going down just yet, but it feels like, especially for the laning phase, and again, one of those stronger abilities for getting a first blood potentially, so not surprising to see him get that.
Yeah, that Veno item build was something. Quad Agi Slippers for the lane matchup there, getting all the bonus damage possible. Even getting a bit of movement speed out of it might help against the Razor, so that's something a bit interesting.
That is curious. I wonder if we're going to see the quad Wraith Band coming out as a result of that, or simply for the early stats. At least a couple of Wraith Bands, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see at least, I'd say 3, but given there's 4 Slippers, you may as well get 4. If you don't want a magic one, you have room to get 4 Wraith Bands.
Okay. Bottom lane, it's the Phantom Assassin Jakiro versus Brewmaster and Nature's Prophet. And right now, seems like Knives able to get some decent last hitting in. Up at the creep wave. He's got No-Tail kind of poking in from the right. The run at you, I'm going to thunderclap you maybe, but overall, back and forth your battle.
Yeah, normally you see the Drunken Brawler level 1 on Master saying a bit different with the clap. I think feeling like he can just allow Nature's Prophet to get more right clicks in with this, but No-Tail taking a lot of damage in return when he gets in close here.
Yeah, usually Brewmaster pretty good at that support role. I've mentioned that before. Kind of like CNA just as far as bullying goes, but finding himself in a bit of trouble there. Maybe with the levels adding up, that'll change. But Zach top lane, just again, Oracle's just running at him. Jerax, guess this is a way to play around him.
And just wants to force that suicide out. He knows he's almost certainly not going to get a kill here, but there we go.
Got him.
Just, it's not really doing a whole lot though. End of the day, it's like kind of annoying, but you can see CS. It's not completely done secured the lane or anything. No. TP and Slug are pretty even on farm.
Yeah, I think Oracle is, of course, playing this fantastic. I mean, the fact you just run at this hero, and as long as you can avoid it. In his case, getting Yas Fate's Edict, if he didn't have it yet, will potentially have it. Kind of protect himself too, worst case. So, yeah, Zach is finding himself a little bit troubled spot early on, but of course, keep an eye on that and see how he progresses. Get those levels, the mines start coming down. He knows what can happen. Bottom lane. Back down here, it seems like there's always just going to be action and just constantly right-clicking one another. No deaths as a result, but not afraid to do some good damage here as No-Tail again. He's taking plenty. Liquid Fire goes down and has to respect that. Back to the top lane. GoDz with the bash proc, and he gets the kill as a result right there. I got to think maybe a blast off was in play earlier to make that happen.
It is on cooldown, yeah, so looks like he probably used that and got them low, so... Nice little kill there, using it just to set up rather than to suicide deny, and they do find the first blood.
How's that middle lane going? We got Razor currently 18-3, Veno 14-2, so not surprising. Getting at that too is Razor having the advantage. The quad slipper. Picked up by Veno.
Yeah. It's still a, yeah, I would have thought maybe slightly more Razor favored, but I think the item build and just the way he's played it has made it a bit more even. And as Veno gets levels, the matchup, there's more things you can do. He has gone for this Gale build, so no Plague Wards, which is why he's doing better in lane, because he actually can kill threat the Razor. You can take away all his damage, but the Poison Sting still hurts a lot.
Yeah, you see right there, he gets in a fall all the way back to the tower, and Thompson is having to be somewhat weary of that. I wonder, too, if this game, if maybe he decides to go more of the Yules build. His last game, he went the S&Y, I noticed.
On the Razor?
On Razor, yeah.
Yeah, I think you want to just get as many stats and tank up as much as possible. Thompson doesn't TP out in time. Nice rotation from Zayek.
Yeah, a little bit ahead of me there as yeah, Thompson is going to get taken out with the blast off. Oh, that's me behind or whatever, but either way, that's everyone tipping on top of that. So easy kill. Good job with the blast off rotation, and he's going to place a mine up at that top rune spot as well. So Techies, we're going to start seeing him move around now. And GoDz apparently he doesn't even need help up here. He's running down Jerax. Jerax kiting him though, and GoDz he's going to fall first. Purifying flames in the face.
I don't know if that planted tree actually did some blocks there, but that looked like it may have actually saved his life down.
Dire structures are fortified.
Either way, he stays alive, and great turn again onto him. Thompson heading back towards that mid lane now, as you can see after that death. But Terrorblade having really just great free farm at the top lane. Looking at the CS now, 34-5, way above anyone else. Obviously, Nature's Prophet right behind him, but Terrorblade, he's having a good time.
Mid lane, they want to go for a kill.
Trying. There's the blast off in. Can Thompson at least get a turn kill? He's definitely dead for this. The answer is no. And Zayek pops one of his 3 fairy fires to stay alive. So, okay, we're starting to see the impact now.
Yeah, he's just able to move around. The damage output from blast off is so insane in the early game that if you land it in any lane, it's often going to lead to a kill.
And I assume he's leveling that up too, right? We usually see more of the mine and then blast off 404 build even.
Yeah, he's got 202 for now. We'll see whether he prioritizes blast off or proximity mine. I imagine it'll be blast.
Yeah, with the way he's moving, that'd make a lot of sense. Slayer gonna fall back from this Nature's Prophet and his right clicks. The Treant's also in pursuit. Out comes the Liquid Fire though, as Thompson dies in the middle lane once again. Zayek gets credit for the kill. No blast off. Well, he might have used it, but he doesn't die himself. I got to think a mine came into play right there. It looked like as he was near the jungle area. So we're watching this bottom lane. So well played to take out Razor, and again, the impact being felt of Tinker, at least in that mid lane. And we'll go back to the top lane, though. Terrorblade, he doesn't care. I mean, he's continuing to have that free farm.
Yeah, he's just had a completely free lane to play around and gets a kill up there, it looks like, onto Ghostic, as this top lane has gone incredibly well for the OG carry.
Yeah. You see that popping in, so I assume he is topping the net worth charts right now. And after that great start, again, going up against the Phantom Assassin on the other side, and on paper should ideally be pretty good in that matchup. I mean, you mentioned they do have Corrosive Haze to help with damage from the PA against him. And when PA does get a BKB, there's also that aspect, how cannot Sunder on her when she has it active due to that 7.20 patch. You see the Slaughter kill once again that we missed right there.
The Observer Ward setting that one up. A kind of unusual place to have a ward, and as a result of it, they're able to get the Fortune's End initiation off from Fog, which catches Slaughter a bit by surprise.
Mid lane setup, Techies hiding there once again. It looks like they found him though. Oracle after the right, Oracle getting low. Fancy that comes out, the blast off, he's gonna dodge it. And Zach ends up just denying himself, killing the mines off as well. Okay, you can dodge it for sure. And again, that Fate's Edict mentioned going into that's why they picked up Oracle.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of early action around this Techies.
Apparently we're seeing Seb go down too, the bottom lane. And now back to the middle lane, the action continues. It's early lead here for NoPango, but Salar, he's going to end up falling to this. Fate's Edict applied to Thompson. The dots on him, so going to help keep him alive. And here the mines going off, but Jarex, he's just running around with the haste and kind of clearing out some of the mines.
Yeah, he's done a good job using those audio cues as much as possible to just get an idea of what's going on with them.
God, there's a lot of damage, man.
Okay, he's going to level up the mines instead. He goes for the 3-0-2 over the blast off.
Yep. As the Soul Ring. Of course, early on as well, expect plenty of mana regeneration on him. And, you know, I definitely not a Techies player myself, but I assume an Ags is somewhere in that build potentially.
Yeah, I imagine eventually. May see some like Soul Ring Yules first or something. Get some cheaper, more cost-effective utility items, but eventually the Ags is just so good on this hero.
Phantom Assassin. His farm's going okay, but especially when you compare it to this Terrorblade at the top lane, as you see right there, Haze is up, and he just doesn't care again. He even has the Sunder. Oh, no, actually he hasn't leveled up the Sunder, but either way, he feels still pretty confident as far as dealing with Slaughter in that top lane, and he's more than 1,000 net worth ahead of anyone else in this game at only 9.5 minutes. So the question is, you know, how does OG transition off of that? He's going to farm in the jungle a little bit more, but you got to assume he's going to start pushing towers. And is OG going to do the whole group up and push objective strategy? It feels like that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I think they want to, once they get a few more items, like get TB his first major item perhaps. Razor's just jungle farming. You farm so fast. He's maxed out his passive, and he has this hood, so he has all the health regen. He's just farming jungle non-stop, so that's his catch-up. And TB's in a great spot, although he may be getting ganked here.
Well, they're going for the bounty ring. It looks like a 10 minutes. LTW part of that. Now he regrets his decision. He has Sunder now. Can he get off the silence? The blast off silence prevents it. And he does go down. They pick up the bounty rings at the bottom lane. Ice Path put down Slayer. Go for the TP play. Not going to work, but big picture. NoPango very happy with the outcome there. Again, that's that silence of the blast off coming into play there.
Yeah, they got the big kill in the TB, and on top of that, they got 3 out of 4 bounty runes, so definitely a victory for them around the 10-minute mark. Something that you always have to keep an eye on is these bounty rune fights. They just create so much kind of random action at times. It's like these small little skirmishes, but that's exactly what I think suits NoPango right now with their lineup.
God, with brown boots, yeah, running at 385 move speed is this Techies now, so he is of course able to kind of close that gap quickly. Trying to set up these blasts. You see him toying with Jarex in the middle lane. And constantly queue it up, act like he's jumping in, but not going to actually go for it.
And the crazy thing is that boots are percent-based movement speed bonuses now, so these high movement speed heroes benefit so much from the boots more than other heroes.
Good point, yeah. That triple Wraithband on Venomancer you see right there, and also the Tranquil boots on top of that, by the way. But No-Tail, Primal split. They're going for Salar. Slayer off to the right. Also there, but they want the bigger kill in Venomancer. Here, the Wrath of Nature coming through as well. Zach just going to deny himself, realizing it's a lost cause. So they get the kill in Veno. May transition to a nice little mid-push themselves. As a result here, No-Tail, good use of that first Primal split, though.
Yep. It's kind of the first time we see Seb get involved. I think it's been a pretty quiet game for him. You often expect a Nature's Prophet to be roaming pretty actively, but he opted to just pressure the PA and try and slow down PA, which worked out quite nicely, but once your team's ready, gets these kind of early items, a level 9, now 10 Razor with double Bracer Hood is incredibly tanky. It's the perfect hero to play around, and that's why Prophet's ready to TP mid.
So Naivius going the Battle Fury build. Can't say I'm surprised, but I think it's worth discussion. In a game like this, up to, well, I guess he's recovered quite a bit, to be fair, but would you have seen it any other way instead of the Battle Fury?
I think there's always possibility to go for the Deso instead. If you have another hero that can kind of scale and take farm on the map, but they don't. They have a Veno Slaughter core, so I think PA needs to be the one pushing lanes and taking the majority of farm. So this game, definitely Battle Fury makes more sense.
NoTel tanking one of the mines right there, but he gets healed up by Oracle. So he's good to go. You see ILTW, meanwhile, taking this massive Ancient stack. He's going to get some help from the Oracle, but slowly but surely going to dwindle it down and going to continue to look back at the net worth. He goes the Dragonlance first, by the way, and now he's going to build into the Yasha all the way to the Manta style. As a follow-up.
Imagine after that death, he's just thinking, okay, I need a way to deal with this silence from Blastoff ASAP. So straight Manta, it's much better than getting a fast BKB is getting this Manta because it's a farming item.
Saw Hooded Defiance there, picked up by Razor. So he's already slightly changing his build now. In this matchup, it makes a lot of sense. You're dealing with a Venomancer, a Techies. There's plenty of reasons.
Yeah, he got that as his first item pickup, and I think it's perfect for this game. Particularly, it is largely magic damage here in the early game until the PA comes online.
That's another thing to look out for as well. The mines actually do affect towers. And you see Zach attempting right there with the fortification coming out. But now Zach's in trouble. He has Blast Off going to turn on Thompson. He's going to be able to deny himself and at least silence up NoTel, allow for a TP out of his teammate right there. But they lose Jakiro as well. So OG, and again, another case of they win a couple, or they get a couple of hero kills, and now they're going to push off of it. As, oh, never mind.
Frustrating. They're so close to killing this Techies always, but he just always gets these suicide denies off. OG would have like 11, maybe 12 kills. Probably another 1,000 gold if they'd gotten these kills on Techies, but that's the nature of this hero.
Yep. Gonna just have to accept that, and obviously in Zach's case, knowing the limits, how close he can get before he needs to actually activate said ability. But they prevent the bottom tower from being pushed, by the way. We saw several TPs happening down there, so OG choosing to defend instead of maybe trying to push out themselves at the top, and thus they have all of their towers still up currently. Or I guess not the middle tower, so the middle tower's been taken out, but every other tower.
TB's just so far ahead, and I think this PA versus TB matchup is maybe playable for the PA with Slaughter on your team if you're kind of equal on farm, but if you're this far behind, TB's just going to get a Butterfly by the time you get any significant items, so he's suddenly got Evasion, then he's going to have an MKB to be able to kill you. It's just so hard to play.
Oh, Slayer gets caught here. Throws down the ice path. He already used his macro power before. He was actually farming with it on a bit of a stack there, but he ends up dying as a result. False Promise was used on Seb there as well, as we saw. Just making sure that he stays alive throughout the dots that were happening. As NoTel splits up. Going in. Caustic. Okay, that's an awkward spot.
Oh, he gets pushed back down, though.
Yeah, he did get pushed back down, and might be enough to save him, actually. The illusion in pursuit with the reflection, but he is going to live, so very awkward spot initially, but he manages to get away still.
That Sprout pushing him off. How did he get up there to begin with?
He blinked.
Oh, he blinked onto the cliff. Okay.
He does have a blink, so that could come into play here as a resetting now. Jerax, in fact, getting low, naive. It's disarm, though, I believe, and Ghostic went in but did not go on the Oracle, so they don't get any kills out of it. NoTel just TPs out in front of them. However, now Nature's Prophet running away, but Terrorblade's still there. Scared to go too far in. Nice little Sprout defense, but Seb, he is definitely dead. They finally get somebody.
They get a kill, but bottom lane, Thompson's getting a lot of space. He's just pushing a tier 1. TB's farming jungle already. He did have to TP out. He was involved in that fight, so it doesn't feel like OG actually lose out on all too much while all that was going on. And it looks like we'll see the same build from Thompson. He loves this Solar Crest. This is 3 games in a row we're seeing him get this. And it's like he's playing these utility mids where he's enabling ILTW. He's just going to Solar Crest his carry, give him all this bonus attack speed, and suddenly this TB is going to be an absolute raid boss.
Yeah. And we saw this time to time, you know, with Ana before, of course, in their TI run, and definitely play this way, more of the utility core instead. And back-to-back games you mentioned with the Solar Crest build, and even before in Clinks.
Thompson's never the guy who's like carrying the game in the classic sense. He's the guy that's just doing all these crazy unorthodox stuff, creating tons of space, and then empowering his carry to just have the easiest game possible. Like he's making this game easy for ILTW to play and carry, much like he used to do for Ana.
Yeah. Bottom lane, they're rotating in, Naive, pushing it out. Still trying to finish that Battle Fury, needs the Demon Edge, gonna pop Blur, taken out immediately. But he is gonna be fine beyond the tower. Not so fine as Slayer. Got caught by Oracle's Fortunes in, and with Brewmaster there as well. Gets beat down. Top lane, looks like fight is breaking out. Seb, False Promise, I believe, does save for the time being, and probably gonna heal on up. Meanwhile, the disarm on a Ghost Stick as he's running away. So Slaughter also gonna live, but Nature's Prophet survives. Good save there. Back to the bottom lane. It's just back and forth. They want to get Razor now, but now Razor's just going to TP out. So good movement really by both teams, I suppose.
Yeah. Something BSJ touched upon is that OG's rotations just seem a lot better than the teams they're facing, and it feels the same here. They're just getting more out of the map. Even when like Nature's Prophet dies up top, it doesn't really feel like it's a significant kill because of how fast OG are to push bottom to rotate back to their jungle. They're just getting way more everywhere they go.
Roshan, that's a free one for OG. ILTW, more than likely the one to pick it up. Or I say free, I mean, they're coming in now, but it is going to be a little too late, it seems like. So NoPango, do they choose to fight this still? Zach thinking about jumping in, does have the stun mine, but doesn't matter. He still falls, got his, well, he tried the blast off. He still died, though. Could not suicide.
Losing people up mid.
There you go. Got Jerix.
Remote mine stack there that hadn't been sentryed. So gets Jerix, got TP very low, but didn't quite have enough damage to remove the Aegis. That would have been a really nice pickup if he could have taken out TP's Aegis.
Does OG need a gem as soon as possible? It's like Techies one of those heroes where you just want to get that.
If they have a good gem carry, yes, and they don't have an amazing one. The Brewmaster, if he was a core, I would say yes, but as a support, he's not ideal. Yeah. Nature's Prophet's like, it's kind of so-so. The Nature's Prophet's very at risk of dying if you ever want to split push, which the hero might want to do, so they may just play around like sentries and 5-manning.
Dire's top tower is under
at the top, Venomancer just spamming those Plague Wards, pushing the tower. The 4-staff early on. You see that Solar Crest. Razor, he actually went the Orb first even, so he just wanted the raw stats, but he's going to finish the Medallion, and that means the full Solar Crest.
He's pretty damn tanky with all these stats of his.
Yeah, double Bracer, Hood. It's tough to kill, especially with that magic damage, well, or that or physical for that matter, as he got the Solar Crest finished. Almost here. Okay, I saw the Battle Fury for a second and then went to Techies. Had to do a double take there, but Phantom Assassin does have her Battle Fury, of course. And there's going to be the top tower kill, but OG looking to fight again. Zach, can he maybe blast off before? He can, but again, it doesn't matter. He still dies in the process.
Yeah, you get the silence and damage out, but you still give up a kill if they kill you midair.
Right for the tower. Why would they stop here? ILTW's got some good farm to work with.
And they know there's no Techies mine set up. They just took a tier 2. Techies is dead. He would not have set up remote mines here on the high ground. They're going to double check with the sentry anyways, but nothing here to defend on the side of Techies.
And I just saw them buy a gem, by the way. I don't know if it's on them yet 100% or not, but it might be coming out here.
I think Topson on the Razor now with his Solar Crest could be a good person to carry it.
Yeah. Speed, you take a look at the odds, and heavily favoring OG now, understandably so with the way this game's going. It's only a 3,000 net worth lead, but you do have the Terrorblade factor. This core matchup feels pretty strong too. Head over to ES.bet. You can bet on set odds if you happen to like them or not. But back to this game. Double damage rune has spawned bottom. Seems like OG's going to be the first one to spot that. And LTW's coming over to pick it up.
So their courier died. Did they lose the gem or what happened?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you then.
I don't see the gem on any of these heroes. Okay, no, it's there on the Nature's Prophet. Okay, so Seb has.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So somebody has it. Nature's Prophet, it sounds like. And they have that vision now of said mines when they get close enough. So Terrorblade also just saw he has the Manta style. He had like 3,300 gold saved up. He's working towards the Eye of Scotty. That's coming. Double damage rune still active with the Aegis.
He's hitting from the low ground with the Dragon Lance too.
So he's going to pop the meta before an Aegis use. As you mentioned, that with the Dragon Lance low ground auto attacks, double damage, and they want him to take full advantage. With the kill, Zach jumps in, the blast off, silence on multiple, on top of the Ice Path, good setup, but Zach, he is going to die in response to this. For sure, Topson gets bashed up. He's really just zoning them though right now. As he was linking up, Zach buys back. LTW's getting low. He has a Sunder though.
Yeah, you don't want to chase into this Sunder.
And they have False Promise. So that's going to be a good save, if anything, to make sure he gets it off.
He thought about sundering his teammate there.
Probably got the call not to.
He's getting heals now, so he's going to go back in, try and get this melee racks while he's got meta.
Disarm lasting a little longer, but he eventually gets some auto attacks in the ice path and pops a reflection running it forward. Now, metaform has worn off, but he still does plenty of damage in the melee form. No-Tail's just distracting them now. Again, you see a lot of the zoning from OG. That's all that No-Tail's purpose is. He's not going for kills. He's going to keep them off. They get the melee racks, and now they're going to back off. So well executed by OG, but not out of here 100% just yet, and they want to chase. LTW is caught. They still have false promise if needed, which right now they don't need it yet. The sides of the backlines, great job by Zach with the positioning. Will that come into play with no Fortune's End? It doesn't look like it. LTW, he will be fine for now. Bash Brock at the last second. Finally, the Fortune's End comes out as he was getting a little bit low for comfort, and now he's running forward, so the heel's kicking in. Slaughter running back, or Slaughter's dead, excuse me. You got Phantom Assassin running back. Will strike to a teammate and be fine, but they're doing all this still with the Aegis, remember, on Terrorblade.
Yeah, he got the Sunder off in the end finally. Teams are getting so much better at playing around Sunder and not giving TB these good targets, but at some point if you're standing back and kiting around the Sunder, he's just taking your racks, and that's exactly what OG did. They get the racks, they get out. Very well executed play, and this Techies is looking a bit underwhelming, I gotta say.
Yeah, we knew it was a niche pick. We've seen teams first 3 banning it. In fact, just the previous series. I think it's, who did they? I'm just totally blanking now. But point is, they were playing the Alliance. That's what it was. Alliance banned all 3 times against them. Not to take just one game example by any means. Obviously, credit to OG and how they're playing against it, but it has not been working this game at all. Thompson though, that's okay. Zach gets the last laugh there as he gets plenty of team support. Let's take him out.
Yeah.
So. Stall.
A kill. The goal difference isn't too crazy. I think the issue is more that the PA is just not going to be able to scale as well as the TB. And it's not just a TB. There's a Razor. Static Link is pretty rough for the PA to play into. If Razor gets some armor items so that he doesn't melt, we're just going to see Razor steal all the PA's damage.
Go stick. Sprinting up. They're going uphill, though, and that's dangerous. Rod of Atos comes out, puts him in play. Slayer. He's just going to die right off the bat, and Ghost Stick, he has to eat through the trees, delaying time, though. He's slowing down heavily, and he, too, eventually is going to be run down. Purifying Flames finishes the job, so Jarex gets both of those kills. They make their way right back towards the middle lane. They'll look to push again. Zayek has a nice little mine trap here. We'll see if maybe he can catch somebody on OG's side. Sneaking through. Doesn't look like it, at least right now. I'm just going to run on by.
They may just lose another Rex here. I don't know if they can defend this one.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. You're going to say, like, well, why isn't he putting an uphill defense? But, I mean, they have a gem. They clearly have vision. They're very aware of this is a team game here. I mean, if he was doing that, they would just die. So, yeah.
Ooh. They're chasing into those mines, though.
This was the
They're
plan.
trying to.
Yeah, you see him
They're
pinging over
them.
there. It's like, please, make them run here somehow.
The issue is OG's so much stronger. So if NoPango chase, OG's just going to be like, we're going to turn and fight.
Naive, he's going deep for this. Oh, no, that's risky. Exactly, turning and fighting. BKB's going to be popped. He's running towards them. Zayak did use the blast off. They kill Oracle, so a good kill, actually, as Thompson now at about half life. Naive, that BKB will be wearing off soon, though. Slayer gets his Macapire down before he ends up melting away. Thompson will get the Sunder, actually, onto him, coming out from ILTW. Trying to help keep him alive, if anything. Well, play support there of sorts, but now Terrorblade's caught by a crush. He needs to be careful himself. Reflection pop, though, and down goes Slaughter in the midst of it. Now, oh, there's an explosion from the tech. He's getting at least a couple or one kill, but the buyback immediately, and Phantom Assassin dies. You see Razor ticking down to some dot here from Venno, but still think OG's overall pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, they can't get the Megas here, but they're going to go for the tier 4s. Force a Venno buyback. This is pretty much the end. There might be one last fight in NoPango left, particularly with the PA BKB. When PA respawns, they've got one last hurrah from her, but that really is going to be their last hurrah unless if they don't like destroy OG in that fight.
Gonna let the illusions up in the front lines. See Slayer doing everything he can to keep them off as much as possible, but LTW goes back in, just in the melee form. There's one tier 4, second one getting low. Ghost Stick decides to jump in, figures why not, try a bit of a distraction again. Bait them in, Venomancer keeping his distance. But ILTW gonna also not overcommit either. Playing with the team, so they get both the tier 4s. Not going to be able to get the ancient just yet, although he pops Metaform as Slayer's barely down. Let's go to the right now. There we go. Sailor again poking in, but taking too much. He has to start to run back, and his reflection almost. We're seeing a lot of illusions do work today in general.
Yeah. Yeah, just going for the throne here with the Metamorph.
Why not? Feeling good. He's got an Eye of Scotty. He has the False Promise backup. He has a Sunder ready to go. And Jarex, well, no more False Promise. That's one way to do it. Just burst down the Oracle, but at what cost now? Ghostic, he's going to fall for this too. He does not have a buyback. Sailor again getting so low, managed to 4-staff away and be fine. Oracle buys back. It's going to be a trek for him to get here. The Ancient, by the way, is at half-life. I mean, this is clearly just a bit of overtime, and GG is called. So OG will eventually break through and finally get the official GG, take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, pretty convincing stuff. They had a very good understanding of how to play against the Techies. It almost looks like the hero they just played against numerous times. Jarex, I feel like, has probably played the hero a bit himself, and he's the kind of guy who plays some unconventional heroes as well. So he seemed to be very well versed in dealing with it. And it was interesting because he was playing the Oracle, normally the 4-position player. With that said, I think the Oracle Brew were both 4.5s this game. Neither was getting a lot of farm, neither was getting sacrificed completely. But top lane went way too well for OG. That Techies lane can't afford to lose as badly as they did.
So OG continues that momentum now, 3 games in a row because 2-0 over Vega earlier. Now they take game 1 of this series, so NoPango. How do they slow that train down? Well, and Techies was cute and all fun. Like I said, though, in a game 1, maybe a little more willing to do set picks, but I don't think OG's banning that hero, and something tells me NoPango's not going to pick it up again. Go for it twice. They're down 1-0. They're going to have to come back here now, and starting with the second game, of course, in this best of 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight. We got game number 2 just around the corner here for the WePlay Winter Madness. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by GoDz. We'll have Draskyl returning after the break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.